Hello, this is Gray Hughes. Today's video is on Kendra Hatcher. Kendra was a pediatric dentist in the Dallas, Texas area. She did a lot of charity work. She was loved by all of her patients. All of her friends loved her. She was known as a great dentist and a great person, and really just sounds like a wonderful person. Unfortunately, she lost her life in the classic woman scorn scenario. And the lengths to which the woman scorn went to take the life of Kendra is absolutely amazing. I always think it's strange how some cases make it really big in the media and some don't. This is one of the ones that I thought would have made it a lot bigger. I know for a fact that many people have never even heard of this case. Okay? So let's get started on the case of Kendra Hatcher. To help aid in the understanding of this case, I created a flowchart, if you will. It has all the different players in it and shows the relationship and some information on them. Kendra Hatcher right here started dating Ricardo Panagua around June 2015, and she updated her status to reflect that on Facebook. Just prior to that, Ricardo Panagua was dating Brenda Delgado. They had dated for 2 years, but through reading some of the articles, it sounds like Ricardo just wasn't really happy with Brenda and wanted to get out of the relationship and told her that he just needed to figure some things out. And that's really just a nice way of saying, it's not your fault, it's me. And the relationship ended. And then soon after that relationship ended, Ricardo and Kendra started dating. And I think that is when, you know, the anger started with Brenda, but it all came to a head when she saw that Kendra and Ricardo had gone to San Francisco together. That was something that she never got to do. And San Francisco is where Ricardo's parents live. And there was a time when Brenda and Ricardo were supposed to go visit his parents, but his parents wouldn't pay for her flight or trip to San Francisco. And then she sees Kendra on Kendra's Facebook page. She saw all the pictures she was uploading, you know, what a great time that they were having. And it really set her off. And this is where the classic woman scorn. She's feeling really jealous and angry and needs to do something about it. And she put together this elaborate plan that just didn't work, but it took a lot of thinking and planning. And I'll discuss that right now. So Brenda found out about Kendra Hatcher and then went to Kendra's Facebook page. I'm sure she kept following it. She probably saw that the in-relationship status was changed on June 6th. And then she started slowly seeing pictures, like on July 4th, of Ricardo with Kendra. And then she kept following the pictures. And then when she finally came to the ones where they were enjoying themselves, these last ones in August, enjoying themselves in San Francisco, that's when Brenda decided to hatch her plan. And here's how it went. Brenda spoke with the dental assistant, Crystal Cortez, a friend, I guess, of hers, and asked if she knew anybody that could, do something for her. She gave contact information for this unknown person. And the police have this person's name, but we don't as the public. Okay, but Crystal gave Brenda this guy's number. They communicated, and Brenda asked him if he knew anybody that could take care of somebody for her. And this person gave Brenda Christopher Love's name and phone number. Then Brenda contacted Christopher Love, and they discussed the plan. All right. Now, the plan is that Brenda would borrow a Jeep from a friend of hers. So the friend, Jose Ortiz, he had nothing to do with it. He doesn't know anything about why she wanted to borrow it. She probably just invented a reason. So she borrowed the Jeep, then gave the keys and the Jeep to Crystal Cortez, who then picked up Christopher Love. And Christopher Love laid down on the back seat, just like you see here in this image. So this is Crystal Cortez driving the Jeep, and laying down on the back seat is Christopher Love. All right, now if you look from this angle, you couldn't really see him. All right, so I'm sure he probably had his head down a little bit further, just laid down all the way until they got inside the garage. Now you might wonder, what do you mean by, like, why did they go to the parking garage? And that's because Kendra lived in that apartment complex where the parking garage is. And Brenda was still on Ricardo's phone plan. He probably didn't have the heart to remove her because she wasn't doing that well financially. So he still had her on the plan, so she probably still had access to the people he called and so forth. So she actually was able to track Kendra, apparently. I read this in an article that was off the record, so this isn't an absolute fact, but it is something that it wasn't disputed by the person that was in the article. It said that Brenda was actually able to track Kendra on her cell phone. So she was able to communicate with Crystal to let them know when they need to be inside that parking garage and wait for Kendra to show up. So Crystal and Christopher Love drove to this apartment building at 1700 Cedar Springs Road in Dallas, Texas. And let's go to Street View and you can take a look at it. And they drove in. They actually followed another car in and then parked and then waited for Kendra, who was there just a few minutes later. Christopher Love then got out of the vehicle and got into Kendra Hatcher's Toyota Camry on the passenger side and shot her in the head. The police know this because they were able to retrieve a spent shell casing, a .40 caliber, on the passenger seat. After the incident occurred, police pulled surveillance footage, and you can see small right there the Jeep that they actually got on surveillance, but I have a larger version of it right here, a couple of them. So they were able to pull this. They put it on the news. Actually, I have a bigger image of that right here. So in this image, Crystal's looking out the exit, and a picture right now that Christopher Love is literally laying down on the back seat right now. And I do have one more. She's actually looking at the camera in this case. This is, I'm not sure if this is when they were leaving or if this is when Crystal was watching Christopher. There was no information given on that. Okay, but they then left after killing Kendra. Now if we go back to the organizational chart here, the flow chart, you'll see that Jose Ortiz right here, he actually was watching the news and recognized his Jeep. So he actually called the police and told him that he had loaned his Jeep to Brenda Delgado. And that I think he knew that the person that was killed was dating Brenda's ex-boyfriend. I think he knew all that information. When the police brought Brenda down to the station, she claimed she loaned Crystal the Jeep, but has no idea what she did with it. So they actually let Brenda go, if you can believe that. And then what Brenda did was she fled to Mexico. The area she escaped to was Torreon, Mexico. Now, I don't know how to pronounce the trilled R's, so I'm totally butchering that. But Torreon, Mexico is where she escaped to. And if we just do a rough estimate as far as the crow flies from Dallas to Torreon, 636 miles, probably closer to 700 driving. And that's where she escaped to. Now let's take a look at the town itself. It actually looks like might be even a small city. There's just a lot of people, it looks like, that live here. Look how densely populated this is. It would be a perfect place to blend in and hide. I'll just give you a basic view of the streets just so you can get a feel of kind of the look of it. It looks like a, you know, maybe middle class to lower income area. Just hide anywhere. You could just, it's so densely populated. I mean, just take a look at this. All these homes everywhere, just packed in. And so that's where the Mexican authorities actually arrested her. She was in Mexico for, I think, around 13 months. It was unbelievable. Like, she left there in September and was extradited back to the United States on October 6th after the United States, the FBI, had to negotiate with Mexico, because they actually caught her a while ago, but would not extradite her because there's a death penalty in Texas. So they had to take the death penalty off the table to extradite Brenda Delgado. Now, the FBI had actually put Brenda on the 10 most wanted list. And I actually have the poster right here. FBI 10 most wanted fugitive. Brenda Delgado. 5'5", 145 pounds. And they have a couple pictures from different images. These almost look like booking photos. Not this one, but these first two. Apparently, she is the 9th woman ever to be put on the FBI's most wanted list. So that tells you how bad they wanted her. They actually went to Mexico after all those months and arrested her. And here's the FBI agent. And that's Brenda being taken back and will end up in the United States. All right, now I'll go back to the flow chart and fill in the information on the rest of these people. Crystal Cortez was almost arrested immediately because she came forward and said, hey, I didn't know anything about the murder, and she's been in jail this entire time. Christopher Love, he actually was on the run. He didn't know anybody was even after him because he thought he just got away with it clean. But Crystal Cortez actually gave up his name. So if they're ever in the same prison, she's going to be in trouble. All right. Now, she gave up Christopher Love's name and Christopher Love's phone number. And that's what the police were able to use to track Christopher Love. And when they tracked him down, amazingly, this unknown character was with Christopher Love at the time, so they arrested both of them. So currently, all 4 of these people are in jail, and there has been no trials as of yet, and there's been no trial date set. But the planning in this case was very unusual and in-depth. I think that Brenda Delgado actually was trying to kill Kendra Hatcher to get Ricardo back. I don't think that it was the typical scorned lover where they actually want to get back at their ex-lover. In this case, she wanted to take out Kendra so that she could get back Ricardo at some point. And, I mean, this story is just absolutely wild to me. Just picture that. I don't think Kendra here knew anything about any of these people here. I think she was just in love with a guy named Ricardo Panagua and was really excited about it and posted all the images on Facebook to let everybody know how happy she was with him. But I think, as a cautionary tale, that's dangerous to do. When you're happy in a relationship when you just started with somebody, just be happy with them. You know, go, visit them, be happy with them, and talk to your best friends about it on the phone and so forth. But you don't need to show the rest of the world, okay? Because you don't know what kind of psycho is out there, okay? So that's all the information I have on this case. And I guess I just want to say, until next time, be safe out there.